And if you have any query in between, you can ask also, don't worry. So we will begin with the infinite sets, and we will prove certain more results regarding the infinite sets. And the first thing that we are going to prove about infinite set is that if you have an infinite set, and if you take out a single element out of that infinite set, then still the set remains an infinite set. And as a consequence to this set, we will prove that even if you take out a finite subset out of an infinite set, still set remains a infinite set. And how you're going to prove that thing? Let me first give that consequence. And the consequence is, let us take A to be a finite subset x naught, x1, so on up to xn of this infinite set x, and we want to establish that this x minus a is also an infinite set. So this is x minus x naught, because of this theorem, is an infinite set. This is infinite set. Let me x naught, this is an infinite set. And again, applying this theorem to x naught and taking out another element out of this x naught set, the x1. This is equivalent to taking out the two elements from x. This is also an infinite set. And then again, another application of the theorem to the set x1, since x1 is an infinite set. And if you apply theorem this to x1, and then you will see that x1 minus x2, which is actually equal to x minus x naught, x1, x2, is an infinite set. And in this way, you will see that x minus x naught so on up to xn is an infinite set. So that means the proof of this theorem that once you take out a finite subset out of a infinite set, then the remaining set is again an infinite set, utilizes this theorem. And we give detailed proof of this theorem as follows. You can see. So by definition, you have x is an infinite set. So by definition, there will be an injective map from x to x such that f of x is a proper subset of x. Now you have two cases. I have the set x. I have a map from x to x, and since f of x is a properly contained inside x, and let this be f of x, this be f of x. And there are two situations now. X naught is a point which you have taken out of x, and that x naught may lie in the range of f of x, or it may lie outside this range also. There are two possibilities. It may lie outside the range, or it may lie inside the range. Okay. So let us discuss the first case, in which case this x naught is a part of this range of f. When you say that this x naught is a part of this range of f, that means x naught is an image of some element, and let us suppose that element is a x1 here, and so under f, x1 maps to x naught. That means the image of x1 is x naught. And also note at the same time, since it is given to us that this f of x is a proper subset of x, that means x minus f of x has some elements in it, and that means at these places we have elements, at least one element, this. Okay, since this is properly contained in x and you have some elements here, I have to use that also. Now we have to show that this x minus x naught is also an infinite set, and to show that it is an infinite set, as definition, we have to construct a 1-1 map from x minus x naught to x minus x naught. In this case, this function is defined as follows. Since we need a map from x minus x naught to x minus x naught, and we are considering the case where x naught is a part of this range of f, so we need this function to be defined in the following way. When x is not equal to x1, then g of x is same as f of x, whereas in case when x is equal to x1, then g of x is given to x2, where x2 is any element lying outside this f of x. As I already said, there lies elements outside f of x, as f of x is the proper subset of x. We need it to define, because if we give in case of x1, if we give g of x also equal to f of x1, then according to definition f of x1 is x naught, then it will not be a map from x minus x naught to x minus x naught once you take this g of x1 equals to x naught. So to have a map g from x minus x naught to itself, we need to define this map in this following way. Now we will establish that this function is a 1 1 and its range is a proper subset of x minus x naught, then that will prove in that case that this set x minus x naught is an infinite set. So first, if you have any element in the x minus x naught, let x be any x, and suppose it is different from x1, and then in this case, if it is different from x1, then the image of this x under g has to be f of x, and this f of x cannot be equal to x2, since f of x lies in the range of f, and x2 has been chosen to be lying outside this range of x. So these two elements cannot be equal. That means in that case, you cannot have f of x equals to x1 equals to f of x. And the other situation, when you have x lying outside of x is different from even x naught and x1, it is not even equal to x naught and x1. In that case, when it is different from x1 also, then the function is defined, g is defined as same as the function f, and in that case you very well know that f is an injection map. It is given to you in hypothesis, and that since x being infinite set, you have this injection f, which is an injection. So g equal to f implies that g is also injection on x minus x naught minus x1. So in this case, g proves to be injection, and the only case where you had this ambiguity, whether this when you have x and you have x1, whether x different from x naught, whether x different from x1, whether both these two elements can have same images, and this is established here that f of x cannot be equal to x2, and this establishes that these two elements cannot have same images, and therefore this function g is a injection map in this case. Now we will see its range, what its range is. Look at this, g of x minus x naught. This can be written as, because I can write this x minus x naught as x minus x naught x1. First I take it out and then I add it to it. Then you apply f to both of g to both of these sets, and g of this will be equal to g of this set and union g of x1, because g being a 1 1, so g of a union b will be g of a union g of b. But our this set x minus x naught x1, g and f are same, so it will be f of x minus x naught x1, and what is the image of x1 under g is x2. So this is set here. That this is what I have written here, and this cannot be equal to x minus x naught, since you have f of x not equal to x, so it cannot be equal to x minus x naught. So this proves that this range of g, which is g x minus x naught, is properly contained inside this set x minus x naught. And this proves that this set x minus x naught is an infinite set, because you have been able to construct this an injection from this set to itself, and such that the range of that injection is properly contained inside it. So this was the case when you had this x naught, the point of contention lying inside this range of f. Now the next case that we have to consider is the case where this x naught lies outside the range of f. This is the situation where it lies outside the range of x. In that case, we will not have any trouble in defining g. Then directly we define g from, because in this case you have this situation, and suppose you have this, let this be the range, and now you are saying that your this x naught is lying outside this range. Then you just take everything to this range under g also via f, and this is what has been done here. Everything, every element of x minus x naught is mapped to the image of f under x. And then clearly g and f are equal functions in this set, and g being a f being a 1 1 function implies that g is also 1 1 function, and the simple calculation shows that the range of g is not equal to x minus x naught. So in both the cases, it establishes that you have an injection from this set x to minus x naught to itself, and that injection, the range of that injection is a proper subset of x minus x naught, and hence by definition this x minus x naught is an infinite set. So we are going to use this theorem to establish an alternate definition of an equivalent definition of an finite set. But for that finite set, we are going to introduce a notation, and this is the notation, and this is the notation of first k natural numbers. It will denote first k natural numbers, where k is also a natural number, and you can call it as an initial segment also, initial segment of k elements, but you just call it as a set of first k natural numbers n sub k. And first we will prove that this n sub k is a finite set. And we are going to use a method that is called mathematical induction, that you all are aware of, to establish that this set is a finite set. So to establish that it is a finite set, and you have to use the mathematical induction, you begin with k equals to 1. When k is equal to 1, then this k n sub k is a singleton set containing 1 elements, and you know that singletons are always finite, so this is a finite set. So that means this assertion is true for k equals to 1. तो अब आपको प्रूफ करना है, आप टर्न है to assume the mathematical, to assume the hypothesis of the induction. And the hypothesis क्या है आपके पास, कि you assume that n sub k is a finite for some natural number k, और आपको प्रूफ करना है कि n sub k plus 1 is a that is a set of first k plus 1 natural numbers is a finite set. If the set of k natural numbers is finite, then you have to establish k first k plus 1 natural numbers का भी finite है. यही आपके पास इंडक्शन. तो अगर आप देख लें तो फर्स्ट के नेचुरल नंबर्स का सेट कंसिस्ट ऑफ फर्स्ट के प्लस 1 नेचुरल नंबर्स का जो सेट है, आप उसको लिख सकते हो सेट ऑफ फर्स्ट के नेचुरल नंबर्स यूनियन द लास्ट के प्लस 1 नेचुरल नंबर. ठीक है. तो अगर आपको, क्योंकि आपको प्रूफ करना है कि n k प्लस 1 आपके पास फाइनाइट सेट है, तो अगर आप इसको मानते हैं कि ये फाइनाइट नहीं है, तो ये इन्फिनाइट होगा, ये इन्फिनाइट है. तो अभी जो रिजल्ट हमने पीछे प्रूव किया वो कहता है कि अगर कोई इन्फिनाइट सेट है, तो उसमें से अगर आप एक एलिमेंट सब्ट्रैक्ट करो, माइनस करो, तो वो इन्फिनाइट रहता है. तो अगर आप n k प्लस 1 में से k प्लस 1 सब्ट्रैक्ट करो, तो वो इन्फिनाइट रहना चाहिए अगर ये इन्फिनाइट है. लेकिन ये जब आप k प्लस 1 सब्ट्रैक्ट करोगे, तो आपके पास जो बचता है वो फर्स्ट के नेचुरल नंबर्स का है, तो ये इन्फिनाइट हो जाता है. लेकिन अकॉर्डिंग टू एजम्पशन n k जो है वो फाइनाइट सेट है, तो ये आपके पास कंट्राडिक्शन आ गई. तो अगर ये कंट्राडिक्शन है, तो देयरफॉर दिस सेट n k plus 1 cannot be a infinite set. It has to be a finite set. So this is okay. Now that this set is a finite set, now using this set we will prove in this theorem, which works as a definition for a finite set also, that a set X is finite if and only if either the set is an empty set or it is equivalent to this n sub k, it is equivalent to the set of first k natural numbers for some natural number k. This is the note that this is a if and only if condition. So first you assume that X is either empty or equivalent to some set n sub k. If X is empty, then you very well know that empty set by default is a finite set. And the other thing that when X is equivalent to n sub k, when X is equivalent to n sub k, and in the previous example we proved that n sub k is a finite set, hence X is also a finite set, because in the previous lecture we have discussed that when two sets are equivalent, then both are either finite or both are infinite. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि एक finite है दूसरा infinite है. तो direct part is very clear कि आपके पास अगर either empty या equivalent to nk है तो then set is a finite set. अब बारी आती है कन्वर्स पार्ट की, कि सपोज करते हैं हम कि x एक फाइनाइट सेट है, तो हमें एस्टेब्लिश करना है कि x is equivalent, x is either a empty set or is equivalent to some set of first k natural numbers. So if x is empty, then we don't have anything to prove, because there is nothing, it is an empty set, you cannot do any construction on that empty set. So there is nothing to prove. So we assume now that x is a non-empty set, and we will now establish that x is equivalent to some n sub k. And to show this, what you have to show, you have to construct a 1-1 function. X to show that this is equivalent, we have to establish that x is in 1-to-1 correspondence with nk. That means there needs to be a bijection from x to n sub k. That is the definition of equivalent set. But what we are going to prove, we are going to prove this through contradiction. And through contradiction, we assume that this set is not equivalent to any sub k. It is not equivalent to any sub k. We suppose that x is not equivalent to nk for any k. This is it. So then how you are going to establish that this set now is a finite set? But to prove that, now we must get a contradiction, since we are proceeding through contrary part. And since we have assumed that x is a finite set, so we can choose an element x1 in, we can choose an element x1 in x, then x1 is equal to that this new set x1, you are taking element x1 out of this x, is non-empty. Why it is non-empty? Suppose it is empty. If x1 empty हो जाता है अगर आपके पास, तो इसका मतलब आपके पास जो सेट x है, x के अंदर सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक ही एलिमेंट होगा x1, तो x1 तो इक्विपोटेंट हो जाएगा n1 के, ये तो क्लियर है, तो इक्विवेलेंट हो जाएगा n1 के. लेकिन हम क्या मान के चल रहे हैं कि ये किसी भी n1 के इक्विवेलेंट नहीं है. देयरफॉर x1, दिस सेट कैपिटल x1 कैन नॉट बी एम्प्टी, इट हैज टू बी नॉन एम्प्टी. ठीक है. तो सिमिलरली अगर ये नॉन एम्प्टी है x माइनस x1, तो आप एक इसके अंदर कोई एलिमेंट होगा, यू चूज अनदर एलिमेंट x2 इन दैट सेट. तो जब x2 आप चूज करेंगे तो अगेन आपके पास जो न्यू सेट अगर मैं फॉर्म करूं, जो सेट फॉर्म होगा x माइनस उसमें से x1 और x2 सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे. ओके. तो x1 और x2 इसमें से सब्ट्रैक्ट किए मैंने, तो अगेन आई हैव टू एस्टेब्लिश दैट दिस न्यू सेट x2 इज अ नॉन एम्प्टी. अगेन अगर ये एम्प्टी हो जाता है तो दैट इंप्लाइज दैट आपके पास जो x आपके पास होगा, दैट x2 होगा, that will be equal to, sorry, x will be equal to x1 and x2. It consists of two elements and it is very well equivalent to n2. Again you will have a contradiction because आपने ये assumption ली है कि ये set x किसी भी nk के इक्विपोटेंट नहीं है. तो इस सिचुएशन में भी हो गए। तो इस तरह से आप कंटिन्यू करते जाएंगे, हर स्टेज पे आपको एक एलिमेंट मिलेगा। तो इस तरह से आप कुछ एलिमेंट्स x1 x2 अप टू xk चूज करेंगे सच दैट आपके पास ये फर्स्ट के नंबर्स जो होंगे, इंडेक्सिंग जिनकी हुई है फर्स्ट के नेचुरल नंबर से x1 x2 so on up to xk. If you will take out these elements from capital X, that set will remain still an non-empty set because of the same reason, because if it becomes empty, then this X will become equal to this set x1 x2 up to xk, which is equivalent to the set n sub k, which is again a contradiction to our assumption. So in this way we can always choose an element xk plus 1 will be chosen in this set capital X minus x1 x2 so on up to xk, and then we proceed by using mathematical induction, and in this way what we get for every natural number xn we will get a element. Just a minute, let me clear all this. In this way for every natural number we will get an element xn, or we can say in this way we will get an element xn plus 1 in this x minus x1 up to xn. When we say that we will get an element in this set, that means ये जो set है आपके पास first indexed by first k and natural numbers x2 up to xn, this is a proper subset of this set x. This is a proper subset of x. तो हम क्या करेंगे, हम ये जितने भी x1 x2 xn के ये सारे नेचुरल जो सेट्स मिलेंगे x1 x2 so on up to, ये एक सेट हमें हर एक नेचुरल नंबर के लिए जब हम कंस्ट्रक्ट करते हैं तो हर एक नेचुरल नंबर के corresponding we get some xn. तो in this way we get a set of all these elements denoted by y. Let us denote this set by y. Now let us do some work on this y, and then that will provide us the required contradiction to accept that this set has to be equivalent to some n sub k. Now you know this set x, what is the definition of this? इसके अंदर x1 x2 so on है, और x1 x2 की definitions ऊपर हैं जो हमने constructions में करी है. तो हम फंक्शन कैसा डिफाइन कर रहे हैं, हम g फंक्शन एक डिफाइन कर रहे हैं y से लेकर y माइनस x1 तक, और कैसा डिफाइन कर रहे हैं, g ऑफ xk इज xk प्लस 1. हर एक एलिमेंट को पुश किया जा रहा बाई 1, इस तरीके से है ना, x1 x2 x3 so on up to ये एलिमेंट्स हैं. तो x1 का इमेज x2 बनेगा, ठीक है, दैट मीन्स x1 को एक आगे पुश किया जा रहा है, फिर x2 का इमेज x3 बनेगा. देयर इज अ शिफ्ट, आप इसको कह सकते हो, देयर इज अ शिफ्ट बाय वन प्लेस, हर एक एलिमेंट को x1 को x2 पे, x2 को x3 पे. तो ऑब्वियसली x1 पे कोई भी नहीं आ रहा है, तो जो रेंज स्टार्ट होगा वो x2 से स्टार्ट होगा, इमेजेस का सेट x2 फिर x3 सो ऑन अप टू इस तरीके से. तो ये आपके पास फंक्शन है, शिफ्ट मैप आप इसको बोल सकते हो. दिस इज काइंड ऑफ शिफ्ट, वी आर अप्लाइंग राइट हैंड शिफ्ट भी आप इसको बोल सकते हो कि वी आर शिफ्टिंग एलिमेंट टू राइट ऑफ इट्स, इसके एक राइट पर हम इसको बाय वन स्टेप, इसको वी आर शिफ्टिंग बाय वन स्टेप इट टू द राइट ऑफ इट. सो देन सी what happens, we are going to establish that this G is a 1-1 map, and obviously क्योंकि ये 1-1 है और ये onto भी हो जाएगा, तो जब ये onto हो जाएगा तो आपके पास that means y जो होगा y इक्विवेलेंट हो जाएगा y माइनस x1 के. तो लेकिन आप अगर आप x1 y में से निकाल दिया गया है तो that means जो y माइनस x1 है वो प्रॉपर सबसेट है y का, तो y इन्फिनाइट सेट बन जाएगा. तो फिर देखेंगे y इन्फिनाइट सबसेट बनेगा तो फिर क्या होगा, क्योंकि लेकिन y ऑलरेडी सबसेट है x का और x फाइनाइट सेट है, तो आपके पास ये सबसेट मिल जाएगा एक x का जो फाइनाइट है, ये इन्फिनाइट है, और x उस इन्फिनाइट सेट का सुपर सेट बन जाएगा. एंड यू वेरी वेल नो दैट सुपर सेट ऑफ एन इन्फिनाइट सेट इज इन्फिनाइट, तो x भी इन्फिनाइट बन जाएगा, which will be a contradiction. So that means now to complete the proof we only need to establish that this function g is a 1-1 function. Okay, so how we are going to establish this, we are going to show that different images, different elements की distinct elements की images distinct होंगी. दो distinct elements ले लीजिएगा x और xg, ये distinct elements. तो दैट मीन्स अब इनकी अगर आप एक्स के और एक्स जे को देखें, ये डिस्टिंक्ट एलिमेंट्स है, दैट मीन्स इनके इंडिसेस आपस में इक्वल नहीं है। अगर इनके इंडिसेस आपस में इक्वल नहीं है तो k प्लस वन नॉट इक्वल टू j प्लस वन भी होगा। अगर ये इंडिसेस डिफरेंट हैं आपके पास तो k प्लस करस्पॉन्डिंग भी आपके पास एक एलिमेंट है तो वो इक्वल नहीं होगा आपके पास x j प्लस वन के। लेकिन इफ यू लुक एट दिस, व्हाट इज दिस xk प्लस वन? What is this xk plus 1? This xk plus 1 is nothing but this is the image of xk under G. That means G of xk is not equal to G of xj. These two elements are not equal. तो डिस्टिंक्ट एलिमेंट्स लिए उनकी इमेजेस भी डिस्टिंक्ट हैं, तो दैट मीन्स दिस G इज अ 1-1 फंक्शन। अगर G 1-1 फंक्शन है तो हमें 1-2 की भी प्रूव करने की जरूरत नहीं है। अब 1-2 क्यों नहीं प्रूव करना, लेट मी टेल यू। Just a minute, let me clear this thing. This is a 1-1 function. This implies that जो g का image होगा g of y, this is contained inside y minus x naught, and this y minus x naught is itself a proper subset of y. This implies that range of g is a proper subset of y, and thus you have a 1-1 map from y to y. क्योंकि y minus x naught तक था तो you can extend it to y, कोई issue नहीं, such that g of y is not equal to y, and this is the definition of an infinite set, and this proves that y is a infinite set, and as I already said, y is an infinite subset of a finite set, which is a absurd thing. So this gives us a contradiction, and we have to this set x has to be equivalent to some n sub k. Is it okay? Do you have any questions, any one of you? If so, what is next to you is that this is the assignment. You have to prove these sets and you have to submit. I'm going to create an assignment section and you have to submit it by tomorrow evening. And what is this thing? I have already discussed this in the beginning of the result. And the rest you have to prove that union of finitely many finite sets is a finite set. You have to prove that if A is a finite, the Cartesian product of A with itself is also a finite set. Then you have to establish that power set of a finite set is a finite set. And if A union B is an infinite set, then you have to establish that at least one of them is a infinite set. इसको prove करना बड़ा आसान है. You just have to use this result. Second wala you have to use to establish this last one. But you just prove each and every exercise. 1 2 3 4 5 5 हैं, 5 की 5 आपको submit करनी है. So you have any queries? If